It's great if you want to get your degree at home or just kind of you're bound to a certain location or if you're working full time. So it's pretty flexible with that. Our partnership with DMACC, we actually have a partnership with all of Iowa's community colleges. And that partnership is really coming out with our online programs. So our partnership says that if you pursue an online degree with UNI and you went to an Iowa community college like DMACC, you'll continue to have access to DMACC's in-person resources while getting your degree online with UNI. There are, let's see, 3 programs that may be of some interest to you. So typically with those AAS degrees or Associate of Applied Science degrees, those are a bit more specific in the classes you take, as you might be aware of. Typically, schools, if you transfer to a 4-year university with an AAS degree, it can be kind of tricky figuring out how those classes transfer over or if they transfer over at all. So there are a few programs in our online programs, though, that actually take an AAS degree, kind of no questions asked. We take it as like a package deal. So there are 3 programs that will do that for you. One of them, I'll start with the ones that are probably most applicable, and then kind of go to the ones that might be less applicable. So the first one would be our Managing Business and Organizations. That is a BAS degree, Bachelor of Applied Science, so that goes well with your Associate of Applied Science. And really, the students who are part of that program, they get their AAS degree, they learn the technical bits about whatever program they're part of, and then this particular program teaches them kind of the business side of whatever discipline they're a part of. So for example, a lot of students in this program are part of DMACC's like Culinary Institute. They learn the culinary arts, and then they go on to get their business and organization degree. This one, technology management, it requires an AAS degree, even though it ends with a BA, which is kind of uncommon. But this is more so if you're interested in working in like an industrial technology setting. Our criminal justice BAS is also a program that accepts any AAS degree. So if you are interested in perhaps the criminal justice field, working in some capacity in that field, then this program could be a good option for you. I'm not quite sure where the overlap would be for that, but if you are considering it,
have a student.
Really?
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely.
There is someone. So maybe, I don't know, photography or videography within that criminal justice field. I'm just kind of spitballing here. This particular scholarship is only available to online programs with UNI. It's our Future Ready Scholarship, and if you qualify for it and receive it, it'll cut your UNI tuition in half, essentially. Brings it down to about what you'd be paying at DMACC. So UNI is already the cheapest 4-year university in Iowa, and if you go an online program and get this scholarship, it'll bring it down even more. So if finance is kind of at the top of your priorities, an online program with us could be something to consider. All right, so that's just for an online program with UNI. So we do offer lots of other scholarships if you end up going to an on-campus program with UNI as well. So we have a one-time scholarship application. I think it's similar to DMACC's, where you just fill out a lot of just general information about who you are, your experiences, what programs you're interested in, any other groups you might be a part of, and then UNI will find the department or private scholarships that you qualify for and apply to those for you. Those are only available to programs on campus, so this won't apply to online programs, but just know that there are lots of opportunities for scholarships on campus as well. Okay, so let's talk now a little bit more about our on-campus programs. So this sheet I gave you all, this white side has all of our on-campus programs. There are a couple that I would like to point out to you that might be of some interest. Digital media leadership is probably going to be one of the more obvious choices with going to UNI and continuing in a field similar to the one that you're part of now. With that AAS degree, this particular program, it won't consider that as a package deal like the other ones, but I did check our transfer equivalency database, I guess you could say, and I looked at all the courses that you are taking as part of this program, and pretty much all of them, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3, will transfer in as credit. So that's great. Sometimes with AAS degrees, your classes will transfer in as what's called career technical courses. which we will take up to 16 credits of those, but then everything else just kind of vanishes and doesn't count as anything. So as you can see, we have digital journalism, media leadership, media production, would probably be the most applicable. So you can really tailor, what you would like to go into eventually. Major, you kind of have one emphasis, whereas the other one allows you to kind of have your hand in a couple different buckets if your interests lie in a variety of different things. So yeah, those are two programs that might be of the most interest to you if you are considering transferring to a four-year university to get your bachelor's degree. Again, these are on-campus programs, so you would have to go up to Cedar Falls to get this degree or to go through this program, but it is an option for you. Up at the top of this major sheet, there is a website that you can go to, and that will just kind of open up a variety of majors for you. You can kind of click into those majors, explore each page a little bit more. That gives you a bit more specific information. There's also contact information on each major page. So if you want to directly contact the department, you can do that as well. They're very responsive. We're not a huge university like Iowa or Iowa State, and so we kind of have that luxury of being able to get you in contact with, program contacts, not just like a general response. So that's a great thing too. You can also email me, and then I can get you in contact with people too. That's kind of my job, so I'd be happy to do that too. Yeah, our general ed program is called Unify, and so it just requires, X amount of classes in kind of those disciplines. So if you didn't take them in your AAS program, then you would need to take them with our bachelor program. But yeah, with an online program, it's pretty self-explanatory to which ones you would take. It's really just the ones that are offered online. With an on-campus program, though, that really opens up all of the options for you if you need to fulfill those requirements to get your BA. But yeah, you can also do what's called a reverse transfer, you can also just take them at the community college level and then transfer to UNI. I've seen people do that too, to save money, yeah.
What's special about our program that I found is that we don't have any general education mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just focused on what we're doing, so would there be enough time to do the general education required for UNI and the classes focused on that specific degree?
Yeah, let me see. I believe some of your courses as part of your program will count as a general education requirement.
Maybe like the mass media.
Like introduction to film, perhaps, would count. It's a humanities course, so that could count as a humanities requirement at UNI. And so even though it's tailored pretty specifically to your program, there might be some crossover as well. I'd have to look at a more detailed list to see, but I think I did see a few that will count as some general education requirements. Yeah.
What are the general ed credits that you would have to take for UNI?
Yeah. So really, these are the different requirements. So written communications, that would be your Comp 1 and Comp 2, essentially, for DMACC. Oral communication, that's going to be, public speaking 101, general oral communication classes. There's a couple different options that you can take here that would count for this particular requirement. And then a quantitative reasoning, that's essentially a math class. And so it's pretty wide open for what you could take for that would count as a quantitative reasoning. Typically people will take like a stats class or, a pretty lower level math class. If you happen to take math classes later on in your major, that will satisfy that automatically, but yeah. And then down here is where it gets a little bit more wishy-washy, I guess. So human condition, these are essentially humanities courses. So that, I think it was history of film class I saw on my phone as part of the DMACC program. That will count as maybe one of those. There are 3 different emphases you kind of have to fulfill. So, and then down here, you kind of get to pick and choose. So for example, if you really like philosophy, for example, then you can pick as many or as little other philosophy classes you want to take. These just kind of have to connect with one of these. So 4 additional classes. That's what makes up our liberal arts core that every UNI student is required to take. So even if you do an online program, you would still get this fulfilled. Yeah, I believe they cut it back a little bit from the previous general arts or general ed program. Yeah, I think the bottom line is that we really try to work with students who have those AAS degrees. We really try to make it as, relevant to them as possible. We try to work with them as much as possible to get the most out of their degree if they want to pursue a bachelor's degree with us. We're the most affordable four-year university. We have great scholarship opportunities, and we got some good online and on-campus programs as well. So